Hi, I'm Al Scott with Injustice Investigations. Just want to give you my take on the new administration. But first, let's go to the old administration. On January the 20th, shortly after 8 a.m., Marine One would land on the White House grounds. Donald J. Trump was running about 30 minutes behind. At 8:12, we saw Donald Trump and his wife walk out of the White House, spent about 2 or 3 minutes speaking with the media. At 8:14 a.m., both of them got on Marine One. 8:17, I'll never forget it as long as I live. 8:17, Marine One lifts up, takes Trump away. As long as I live, that day, I will never, ever forget. The night before, it was like a burden had been lifted off of my shoulders. I was extremely happy all that day. I was joking, playing, running around, acting like a 12-year-old child. And I guess some of you probably was doing the same thing. Reason being, for the last 4 years, this country has endured things we never thought we would. We knew racism was still alive. There's nothing we can do about that. Racism exists, and racism will continue to exist until we, the people, exist no more. We just have to educate ourselves on how to deal with it and how not to deal with racism. But we had a president sitting in the White House that promoted racism. Proud Boys, white supremacists. That's why he couldn't condemn them during a live presidential debate. You cannot condemn who you are. This country was hurting. This country was at war with one another because of the individual that sat in the White House. From day one, Trump would go against the Constitution of the United States of America. Shortly before the election, he knew he would not win. He began his baseless claims: if I don't win this election, it was rigged. So why would he say that? Well, it's simple. He knew that he had not done anything to deserve a second term in the White House. So I'm going to start the foolishness now and say if I don't win, they cheated. That makes no earthly sense. He tweets out, stop the count. I don't know how they do it where he's from, but in the United States of America, we don't stop the count because you're losing. The count goes on. We went into a major recession with Trump, regardless of what he said about creating the best economy ever. That is just a lie. When he went into the White House, the economy was doing great. That is because of President Barack Obama and his administration. They went in under a recession and they got it straight. Trump wanted to take credit for it, but he didn't do it. I wanted to say that we're not going to speak on Trump ever again, but that we can't do. Yes, the country must heal, get to healing. We must begin to unify. But it's hard to do that without bringing up his name because he got us to this point. Just because the would-be wannabe dictator has left the building, the threat to this country did not leave. Many people are being arrested in their connection with the riot on the United States Capitol on January the 6th. The whole world was pre-warned of this. Donald Trump spoke of this. We know for a fact that the FBI and other law enforcement agencies had received detailed information of this attack with enough time to prevent it. But they did absolutely nothing. It makes you wonder how many people are really involved in what happened on January 6th at the Capitol. But nevertheless, they're being arrested. Ex-military members are being arrested. Police officers are being arrested and terminated. Judges were also at this raid. These were not protesters. These were thugs. These were criminals. And I'm quoting Trump. That's what he said when he referred to Black Lives Matters protests, that they were criminals and they were thugs. They were not criminals and they were not thugs. They were hurting people. Not only were black people hurting, the death of George Floyd would have a global impact. We watched in real time George Floyd take his last breath. We watched in real time for George Floyd to call out to his mother, who was dead. We watched in real time a white officer refusing to take his knee off George Floyd's neck. And because of those diabolical criminal acts, George Floyd died. When President-elect Joe Biden began to run for the highest office in the land, he said a lot of things that stuck with me. He said a lot of things that got my undivided attention. Shortly before the election, on November the 3rd, Biden said, help is on the way. Help is on the way. And we needed help. And I do believe that help has indeed arrived. President Joe Biden spent his first day in office undoing foolishness done by the past administration. I believe in Joe Biden and I believe in Kamala Harris. But one thing we have to remember, we have to also play a part in this. Some things that they promised that they would do or try to do involves our participation. First 100 days, President Biden is asking us all to wear a mask. I'm doing my part. I hope you are doing your part to bring a drastic drop in infections and deaths related to COVID-19. If this is not a success, it is only because we did not play our part. We must mask up. We must. President Biden, after he took the oath of office, he would later give a speech. And that speech was so heartfelt to me. It was so touching. I kept notes of a lot of things that Joe Biden said. One, every disagreement is not a cause for war. I love that. Simply put, just because I disagree with you, it doesn't mean you need to call in the military. This is a free country with free thinkers. And because I disagree with you doesn't mean I don't like you, doesn't mean I don't value your opinion. We all have them. You see things your way and I see things my way. Simply put, position determines perspective. What you see depends upon where you're standing. But anyone that steps foot in that White House must be a people's person, must represent all the people, not a selected group of people, all the people. He also talked about how sometimes in order to understand what's going on, you must walk in my shoes. Step in my shoes for just one day. And maybe you'll know why we cry, why we scream, and why we rebel. It's kind of like being a Christian. Christians should always see themselves in everybody, whether they are perfect individuals, criminals. In order to understand, in order to really care, You must see yourself in everyone. And when you look deep within yourself, you're going to find the right answer. Donald Trump got it wrong. The presidency was not about him. It was about the American people, the needs of the American people. And I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will keep their words as they campaign to sit in the White House. It's going to get worse before it gets better, especially dealing with the coronavirus. And I can only imagine what they are going to find in that White House. It's going to be a lot, and it's not going to be good. I don't trust Trump, and you shouldn't either. There may be some things left back in that White House that will come back to bite Joe Biden in his butt. Not because he's guilty, because of Trump. Trump is conniving. He's diabolical. He's a narcissist. He's a wannabe important individual. But I don't care how much money we have in this world. That don't make you happy. People may respect you, but why are they respecting you? Because you've earned that respect? Or is it a respect of fear? And for the most part, when it comes with Trump, it's a respect of fear. Mitch McConnell said what happened on January 6th has Donald Trump name written all over it. He gave them their marching shoes, their marching orders. And when he spoke, they moved. I've never seen a president in the White House as corrupt as Donald Trump. He makes Richard Nixon look like a Boy Scout. When you're in the White House, it's not about you. It's about the people. It's about the Constitution of the United States. I would think that's why you're there, to help all the people, not a selected group of people. And you can think anything you want to think about anybody on planet Earth. It's just not always good to say what you are thinking, because once you say something, you cannot unsay that. It's out. And it will be remembered, whether you meant it or not. But when you are a public figure, all eyes are on you. But you just don't know how many eyes are on you. If we kick Trump out of the White House in 2020, what the hell makes him think we're going to give him the keys to the White House again in 2024? That's a fool with a serious problem. That's a headache. That's a migraine. People begin to bicker with one another because of the practices of Trump and his administration. White people begin to come out and just, because they could do it, attack black people. A black man is in a Jaguar. He shouldn't be in it. A black woman is parked in front of the house down the street. It's 2-story. It's been up for sale for almost a year. They shouldn't be there. They don't fit this neighborhood. Well, if we were to tell the truth, none of us fit this neighborhood. None of us fit this land, because it's not ours. We're on stolen land. And just for an extra bonus, Christopher Columbus did not discover America. Christopher Columbus was a drunk. A drunk. You cannot discover something that's already inhabited. He was so drunk they made a wrong turn. And he says he discovered America. The only thing Christopher Columbus discovered was a bottle down his throat. It is time for our country to get to healing. It is time for us to get back to being good neighbors again. You must do your part, especially when it comes to the coronavirus. It's so simple just to mess up. It's just that simple. I cannot tell you to take the vaccine. I will not tell you not to take the vaccine. I can only speak for me. I'm not going to take it. And I have my reasons. But you follow your mind and your heart, and you do what you feel is best for you and your family. Our country is still in a mess. There are many, many more people that the FBI is looking for to put handcuffs on. We cannot bully our way. We cannot threaten people to turn things around in our favor because we don't like the end results. If we do that, then we must become a country without laws because it's 1-800, anything goes. Trump knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that he did not win that election. As I say all the time, the majority of the Republicans know that he did not win the election. And I'm talking about the ones who will not go against him. They can't go against who they are. I'm going to say it again. They cannot go against who they are. Anyone in Congress believes or says the 2020 election was rigged and Donald Trump really won the election, they should resign or they should be relieved of their duties. We put you there because you're said to be some of the smartest people on the planet. We put you there not only to implement laws, but to uphold them just the same. We don't put you there for you to cherry pick what you will obey and what you will not obey. If we cannot trust the lawmakers of this city, of this country, who can we trust? So it makes you wonder if they're going against a 100% legit election just to have their way. Maybe we need to investigate them from the first day they stepped in office. I can only imagine what they've done that has been against the Constitution of the United States. Just think about it. There's no evidence. There's no evidence. There's no evidence. So how can you support Trump? How can you support not impeaching Trump when the evidence are there? How can you support him when you heard his phone conversation with Georgia's Secretary of State when he threatened Georgia's Secretary of State? He sat there and lied. Went so far as to say, I want every state. Listen to the whole piece. He said, I want every state. Then he had a plot that we just found out about to get rid of Georgia's Secretary of State because he was not a team player. That's sad. That's wrong. And extremely scary. It's about the American people. This is not how we run the United States of America. We don't incite, initiate, give an approval for thugs to tear up the Capitol, for thugs to do whatever they want to do because of baseless claims about an election that was won by Joe Biden. When black people protest, and if they tear up things, they're thugs, they'll lose. They should be arrested. I don't hear that from a lot of people when we speak about the U.S. Capitol. These were not protesters. These were criminals. These were thugs. These people had a blueprint of the United States Capitol. A blueprint. Wow. That's scary. The people that support Trump in Congress are a serious threat to the whole white world. They must resign or be relieved of their duties. If you don't want certain things done to you and your family, how can you be okay with other people doing it to someone else? It's beyond me how you can come to the mic and look the American people in their eyes and tell a damn lie. And speak with boldness, with gospel conviction. You can believe anything you want to believe in this world. But belief don't walk into a courtroom. What wins a case in a courtroom? Proof. Evidence. They had not one shred of evidence. They knew it. They knew it. So why did Trump lose the election? Well, it's simple. He didn't have a plan for the next 4 years. Just as his first 4 years. No plan. A lot of talk. And that was it. When he downplayed the seriousness of the coronavirus, it kicked him out. When he talked bad about black people, that kicked him out. When he spoke ugly words about Congressman John Lewis, that kicked him out. When he interrupted a peaceful protest outside of the White House to walk across the street and hold up a Bible, that kicked him out. When he spoke bad about Mexicans, when he said we're going to build a wall, Mexicans will pay for it, that kicked him out. When they took children and put children in cages and separated them from their family, that kicked him out of the White House. When he decided, I'm not going to do any briefings, that kicked him out. When he would play on Twitter 24/7, that kicked him out. We don't deal with dictators in this country. We never had one, and we never will. The United States does not negotiate with terrorists. So why in the hell would we start with Donald Trump? Donald Trump lies so much, I don't know if Donald Trump is his real name. But here's what I do know. Today, a lot of people are happy. A lot of foreign leaders have called this new administration and basically said, thank God. Thank God. When we say I'm going to defund the World Health Organization in the midst of a pandemic for only one reason, they're telling the truth. And people are dying. And you want to defund them. That kicked him out. When he silenced Dr. Fauci from telling the truth, that kicked him out. When he said during a live press conference can we just inject ourselves with disinfectant that kicked them out? The Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in some of his ways, most of his ways, the majority of his ways. No, all his ways. Again, I quote President Barack Obama when he said that he knew Donald Trump wasn't nothing but a one-term president. He also said there's a reason why Donald Trump hasn't grown into that position. He can't. It wasn't for him. But if I'm in Congress and if I'm a Republican, I'm supposed to worry about the people. My goal is to satisfy the people, not to cater to a president. I don't care how much power he has. The people put me there to work for them. Do I dare let them down? No. No. I've never saw so much hate and disrespect towards certain people in this country. And I thought I never would. But I never saw this until he sat in office. And I couldn't believe the things that was happening. And the powers that be, most of them did very little to stop it. When the President of the United States disrespects us, that tells everybody else that don't like us to disrespect us in public, and nothing will happen. And that went on for a long time. A very long time. When we tried to take military forces and use them against the people, they put him out of that office. That's not what the military is for. When we sit with Michael Flynn and the My Pillow guy and others and entertain martial law, send him out that door. Before we end this video, to all of you who said, I'm tired, but you knew one thing. You can say you're tired all day long. A person will never know you're really tired until you make a move to let them know that you're really tired. This election, you all made that move. Enough is enough. Someone said to me the other day, well, people were so happy to get rid of Donald Trump, they would have put anybody in office. That's a lie. That's a lie. Because recently, anybody was put in office. Look at what happened. So no, we have to be extremely careful who we give a job to, especially as President of the United States. No, anybody don't fit that bill. We must get to write somebody in there. I ask that you, if you voted for Biden, that you continue to work with him. Don't be against him. Mass up. And let's get this country back to loving and healing again. I'm not going to be in agreement with everything that him and Vice President Harris does. Nobody will. But does that mean we must go to war? Does that mean we must impeach him? No. We can't win every fight. And sometimes we have to take just a little to accomplish something big that we normally wouldn't accept. But one thing we will not accept, and I quote President Obama on this, we will not accept the world they're trying to get us to live in. Help is in the White House. Help is in the White House. I'm Al Scott with Injustice Investigations. Remember, I am not always right, and you are not always wrong. Be it the Lord willing, we'll see you Enjoy your day.